What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Today we are going to talk about every collector's nightmare, the pleather issue. Now I already have this. I know I have this with the Crow, and I kind of let it slide because his jacket is already, well, overall he's kind of battle damaged anyway. So I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna further touch this just to avoid any more damage. But now I was trying to take a look at my Punisher, and I noticed some signs, and I was just like, all right, let's roll up our sleeves here. So normally this is the two things that I use. So if you are watching this and you're not familiar, 303 kind of works. It doesn't guarantee anything, but I normally use this. This is just in my house. So application here. So this is the Crow. Normally I wouldn't even touch this or save this because the tears and the rips are actually a part of the jacket. You know, it's the Crow. He got slashed in the back, you know, so there's bullet holes in here, so it kind of blends in. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna apply this anyway. As you can see, it is falling down as we speak, you know, but normally I don't want to exert more effort. So normally it does go up on the sleeves. For mine, it goes up in big chunks. You can see his pants are kind of damaged as well. So what I normally would do is I would get this kind of like, I don't know, this is for cell phones, you know, to wipe the screens. I would just use this because they're, you know, at home. You can use a microfiber cloth. I have that as well. So I would just kind of dab this into the jacket. I would let the jacket absorb the 303. I'm kind of sealing it with the foam later on, so you can see the pants. So in here I would get kind of close and wouldn't spray it out right, you know, just let it drip a little bit. I'm not wiping it off. You don't want to wipe it off completely, but dabbing it, letting the pleather absorb it whatsoever, and then I'm gonna get this foam to kind of seal it off. So this foam, from my understanding, and at least from what I can tell when I touch it, it gives you that moisture on that on the pleather. Because what happens with the pleather, the moment it starts cracking, is because it gets dry, and since it's not real leather, you know, and then it'll separate from the fabric underneath. Now you can repaint this if you want to. I could, but at this point, I'm just waiting for the new version, the rooted hair version, you know, from the one with the bison body and all that stuff, from Caustic Plastic. So, but with that being said, I still like pulling out the Crow every once in a while, taking a picture of it. So here again, I'm applying this into the jacket. Again, when it's within, you know, the figure itself, and then you take a picture of it in the dark, normally, because that's where the Crow is, it's not as noticeable. So what I would do is just take my finger, kind of just spread it out, and again, let it sink in, you know, let the leather absorb it, and then you would notice right afterward that it's gonna be a little shiny. It's giving that moisture into the pleather itself. Now I've been doing this for quite some time now. Now with the Crow, make no mistake, it was too late. I got this because I have a lot of figures, and I normally don't touch them a lot. So now this is the Punisher, and as you can see, it is a bit shiny because I already applied it here, but it's not flaking yet. But you can kind of tell it's slowly bubbling up from the inside, so that means the pleather is slowly separating from the fabric. It's not yet, but you can see it's shiny. It feels kind of wet, but it's not really wet. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by it gives you that a little bit of moisture when you get that foam, and I think it prolongs the life of, you know, these things. So now I already applied it. This is the moment of truth, because when I picked up Punisher and I was just like, all right, let me, you know, I got inspired by that trailer by Spider-Man New Day. So I was like, you know what, let me get him. And then I noticed, I was like, all right, it's looking kind of dry, and you don't want that. And normally when it's about to flake, the moment you start moving it around, that's when it starts separating. And luckily for me, I put him on, and so far nothing. And you can see from the inside, I forgot this is magnet. So from the inside, it is kind of dry. So I would just get this, kind of rub it off a little bit there. Even though it's inside and you can't see it, you don't want it to start flaking off underneath, because it would just be a huge chunk. So I would just get it, rub it in, and then position him. Now, what you don't want to do now, you can see again. Look at you can see the streaks in there, and that's not made because of the products that I just put in. It's coming. You can't avoid it. It's like Thanos, and you can see it's like peeling off my hand. One of these days, maybe I'll just peel it all off, repaint it, get some acrylic paint, and paint it, seal it off again. But I don't know, or maybe just buy a new jacket online, but at this point, like I said, I don't want to put in any more money. This is like fixing an old car at this point. If I spend more money, because this is already deteriorating, I'm gonna buy new pants, new jacket, again, I might just peel it off completely, and then, because acrylic paints are pretty cheap. But now we're talking about effort here, like how much effort are you planning to put in to a 10-11-year-old figure with a crow? Now, as far as Punisher, he still has some value out there up until the new Punisher gets announced / released. But even at that, I really like this Punisher. You see those big chunks just coming out. So prevention. How do you prevent this from happening? So here you can see on the crotch grabber, it's fine with the Punisher because he does have a fabric pants. My biggest mistake was I did it with the crow without touching him for years. He was just displayed in my cabinet, not touching him because, I don't know. He just doesn't feel like posting him anymore. So the solution is get like a waist grabber. Not the crotch grabber, because for the waist, because normally it will stick. So that's what happened to the pants. It did stick. So now you can see clearly the marks where it used to be. And then the moment I took it out, while this, it could hug his waist right there, which doesn't have any leather, and then you'll be safe, because it is fabric. It's digging in, but you won't have that issue with caustic plastic because they are magnet. Now here with Punisher's coat, you can see that it's folding up on the top, especially on the back part, and that's not good. Anytime that there's a fold, you are just allowing the fold to have creases. You can see that that is about to give in anytime. So I gotta be more cognizant on keeping this hydrated, so to speak, moisturized, to prevent that from happening. So far, it has showing some signs of bubbling, but not yet, not as of yet. So maybe we can salvage this. But final thoughts, you could try the prevention. Like with Punisher, I don't know how old this figure is now. Maybe 8 years, 7 years old. I forgot. Maybe more. But this is the bane that I have as well. This is just. The key is you gotta touch your figure. You gotta examine them every once in a while. Today's my day off, and I just decided, I'm gonna take a picture. But I normally do this, but not religiously, because who does have time to pick up their figures and put 303 on them? So normally it happens whenever I remember it. But prevention is, keep them up. Try to unfold them. But thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.